Good morning, students. The last class we had stopped at question number 8C. In continuation with the solving of the previous year question papers, the first question of today's class: what is Seebeck effect? Explain with the neat diagram the construction and working of a thermoelectric pyrometer. This question is asked for 8 marks. First, they have asked what is Seebeck effect, and then they have asked to draw the neat diagram with construction and working of thermoelectric pyrometer. So this Seebeck effect is related to thermocouple. Thermocouple is a device which consists of its equipment which consists of two dissimilar metals joined at two junctions, right? So if you join, there are two ends of the conductor, so each conductor is having two ends, right? So the starting end of each conductors are joined together and the finishing ends of both the conductors are joined together. So one junction is maintained at high temperature, it is called as hot junction. Another junction is maintained at less temperature, it is called as cold junction. Usually the cold junction or the reference junction is maintained at 0 degree Celsius. So when such a setup is maintained, then there develops a voltage in the circuit and the current flows. So this effect is called as Seebeck effect. This effect is called Seebeck effect. Next, to explain the thermoelectric pyrometer, this is the thermoelectric pyrometer, right? Here we can see that there is a hot junction and there is a cold junction, right? So in between there are insulators to see that the external current does not interfere with the conductors here, the wires here. Similarly, the metal sheet enclosure to protect the equipment from extraneous signals. Then compensating leads to provide the required compensation. There is a over temperature, then that compensation is provided by the leads, compensating leads. Then there is a meter connected to measure the voltage or the current. So when the two junctions are maintained at two different temperatures, one at higher temperature, another one at lower temperature, the one which is maintained at higher temperature is called hot junction and the one which is maintained at lower temperature is called cold junction. Then there develops the voltage in the circuit. So because of this, the current flows in the circuit, and that current is measured using this meter. By measuring this current, we will be able to measure how much is the temperature of the junction. So in this setup can be used for measurement of high temperatures, right? So this is the setup for the thermoelectric pyrometer. Moving on to question number 9b, briefly explain rotameter. First one. Second one, elbow meter. First one is rotameter, second one is elbow meter. This is asked for 8 marks. First one, rotameter. Rotameter is variable area flow meter. This is used to measure the fluid flow. Variable area flow meter used to measure the fluid flow. The working principle of rotameter is that the amount of force exerted on the immersed object is equal to weight of the displaced liquid, right? The force exerted on immersed object is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by the object. So this is the working principle of rotameter. Let us see its construction of rotameter. As we can see here, this is the flow, this is the inward flow and this is the outward flow from here. Fine. There is a scale placed over here to measure the level of the liquid in this tube. This is a glass tube, tapered glass tube, right? It is of conical shape, tapered glass tube, it is of conical shape, and inside this glass tube there is a float. This float is made up of stainless steel material or it is made up of lead or aluminum material. Okay, as the liquid flows here, so the float gets displaced, right? Let us see the working of the rotameter. To explain the working, I have considered this figure. So here the flowing liquid exerts the force on the side walls of this float. See here, this is the force that is exerted on the side walls of the float, and there is a force exerted in the downward direction due to gravitational force of the float. Force exerted in the downward direction. When the total force exerted becomes equal to the weight of this float, then this float will reach its equilibrium. The float will reach its equilibrium when the total force is equal to the weight of the float, right? Then how to measure the velocity of the fluid? To measure the velocity of the fluid, we use the magnitude of the displacement of this fluid. Magnitude of the fluid displacement gives the velocity of the fluid. That is, magnitude of fluid displacement is proportional to velocity of the fluid. Advantages of this rotameter instrument are: no external power required. It can be used for measuring liquid flow as well as gas flow. It can be used for measurement of flow rate of corrosive liquids, corrosive fluids, acidic fluids. Disadvantages are: it is difficult to handle and uncertainty in measurement. Because it is complex, it is difficult to handle, and uncertainty of measurement because the measurement completely depends upon the movement of the fluid. So it is uncertain. These are the disadvantages. This is the first one, that is rotameter. The second one is elbow meter. The second one is elbow meter. Elbow meter is a device used to measure flow rate of liquid through the pipe. It is used to measure flow rate of liquid through the pipe. So this elbow meter consists of a pipe bend. We can see in this figure, this elbow meter is in the form of a bend. It is bent here. This form of a bend, this is called as a pipe bend, right? The liquid is flowing through this. This liquid which is flowing, its flow rate can be measured by measuring the pressure difference between the radius inside and radius outside. That is, if we measure the pressure difference, differential pressure between inner radii and outer radii, or inner radius and outer radius differential pressure, then we will be able to measure what is the flow rate of the liquid that is moving through this pipe bend. Fine. I hope you are following, students. Okay. So this is how we will be able to measure the flow rate of the fluid that is flowing in the elbow meter by using the principle that the centrifugal force exerted by the fluid which is flowing on the pipe, that is the differential pressure exerted on the walls, is proportional to the flow rate of the liquid which is flowing. Let us see the next question or question number 10a. Briefly explain or explain briefly DC tachometer generator, AC tachometer generator. This is asked for 8 marks. First one is DC tachometer generator, second one AC tachometer generator. Let us see the first one, DC tachometer generator. This is how the diagram is. The DC tachometer generator consists of the two permanent magnets, north and south magnets. In between an armature is placed, right? The rotor is placed or the armature is placed. This is coupled, the armature here is coupled to the shaft whose speed is to be measured, right? It is coupled to the shaft whose speed we want to measure. So when the rotating object is coupled to the shaft, when the object rotates, the shaft also will rotate. So when this shaft rotates here in the magnetic field between the north and south poles, according to the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, whenever the flux linking with the conductor changes, EMF is induced. Is it not? So this EMF we are measuring using the voltmeter. The current in the voltmeter is limited by this resistor. Okay, and the brushes are used for collecting the current from the armature. If the voltage is measured, then indirectly it is calibrated to measure the speed of the shaft. So this is how the DC tachometer generators are used for measurement of speed of the rotating speed of the object. Second one, AC tachometer generator. In the AC tachometer generator, here as we can see here first we are using the rotor. There is a rotor here, right? And there is a stator and there is a stator. Okay, the rotor is rotating whereas the stator is stationary. So this rotor has a shaft which is coupled to the object which is rotating. So when the object rotates, the shaft also will rotate. So when this shaft rotates, then the rotor rotating, that will cut the flux lines and the EMF is induced in the stator coil. So this EMF which is induced in the stator coil, AC EMF, it is rectified to DC by this bridge arrangement. This is a bridge arrangement, diode bridge arrangement, which converts the AC input signal to DC output voltage. So the output that is obtained is DC, is it not? So this DC voltage current which is flowing due to the DC voltage is limited by the resistor, and unwanted ripples, unwanted signals in the DC voltage is eliminated by this capacitor. So it's a filter. Capacitor is a filter, so it removes the unwanted ripple present in the DC voltage. And finally, by measuring the output voltage, we will be able to measure how much is the rotating speed of the object. So like this, the AC tachometer generator is used to measure the speed of the rotating object indirectly by measuring the output voltage. Next question, question number 10b. Let us see what it is. Question number 10b, explain piezoelectric accelerometer and ultrasonic liquid level gauge. Question number 10b is explain piezoelectric accelerometer and second ultrasonic liquid level gauge. Similarly, it is asked for 8 marks. This is the setup for the piezoelectric accelerometer. We have the mass placed on the crystal. The crystal is sandwiched between the electrodes. It is placed between the electrodes, right? The arrangement of the mass and the crystal is fastened to the base. It is bonded to the base. The arrangement of mass and the crystal is bonded to the base. Acceleration is applied. Acceleration, whatever we want to measure, is applied to the base. This acceleration squeezes the crystal. So when the crystal is squeezed due to change in pressure, the piezoelectric crystal converts the change in pressure to output voltage. It converts the change in pressure to output voltage. By measuring this output voltage, we will be able to measure how much is the acceleration that is applied to the piezoelectric accelerometer. So like this piezoelectric accelerometer is a setup to measure the acceleration of a moving object in terms of output voltage. So the electrodes which are present here, they are meant for measuring the voltage electrodes. Fine. Advantages of piezoelectric accelerometer are: can measure acceleration from fraction of acceleration due to gravity, to thousands of g. It has high frequency response ranging from 10 Hz to 50 kHz. It has few disadvantages also. Though it is suitable for measurement of large values of acceleration, it cannot measure the frequencies for less than 10 Hz. It cannot be used for the input frequencies less than 10 Hz. It is sensitive to temperature changes and it is subjected to hysteresis errors. Hysteresis error is due to increasing values of input and decreasing values of input. Whatever output is obtained, that is differing. So this is called as the hysteresis error. Then next part of the question, ultrasonic liquid level gauge. As we can see in this ultrasonic liquid level gauge, so this is the setup. Here we have the liquid in the tank which is at a certain level, certain position. This is the transmitter, ultrasonic transmitter, which transmits ultrasonic pulses. So these pulses strike the liquid and they return back. So this ultrasonic principle is used here, that is the change in transit time. Change in transit time is employed for measurement of the level of the liquid. That is based on the change in the level, the time taken for the pulses that is transmitted from the ultrasonic transmitter, right? So these ultrasound signals, when they return back, they take a different time. While they are transmitted, it is a different time when they strike back, and when they return back, it is a receiving time is different. So the time difference is delta t is equal to t2 minus t1. So this time difference is measured. On measuring this time difference, we will come to know proportionately how much is the liquid level in the tank. So that can be easily measured. So this is a setup wherein we can measure the level of the liquid in the tank, which is called as ultrasonic liquid level gauge. Its advantages are absence of moving parts. There are no moving parts present in ultrasonic liquid level gauge. High accuracy. Disadvantages: complex construction and cost is high. So students, in today's class we have taken up different topics, starting from the Seebeck effect, thermocouple, then thermoelectric pyrometer. Then we saw two types of flow meters, one is rotameter and the elbow meter, right? Rotameter and the elbow meter. Fine. Then another two types of instruments, that is DC tachometer generator and AC tachometer generator. Then later we have seen piezoelectric accelerometer, their advantages, disadvantages, and finally ultrasonic liquid level gauge, its advantages and disadvantage. I hope all of you have understood, students. If there are any doubts, send your doubts to me. I will clear your doubts. Thank you.